one, I am worthy of everything I desire. The very first thing you need to understand is that you are worthy of everything you desire, every dream you've ever had, and everything your heart yearns for. Too often we fall into the trap of thinking we must prove ourselves, that we must work harder than everyone else to earn the good things life has to offer. But let me tell you this, you don't have to earn your worth. Your worth is intrinsic. It's not determined by your bank account balance, your job title, or how many followers you have on social media. Your worth was established long before you even existed. You were born worthy. And everything that's meant for you will come to you when you fully embrace the truth that you are deserving. I remember a time in my own life when I struggled with this concept. I felt like I had to hustle endlessly, proving my value to everyone around me. I had to work harder, stay up later, and burn the candle at both ends, all the while trying to convince myself and others that I was enough. But the moment I realized that my worth wasn't determined by how much I could accomplish or how much validation I received from others, my entire life changed. When you declare, I am worthy of everything I desire, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. You stop chasing after validation and start aligning with what you truly deserve. You stop questioning whether you're enough, and instead, you start living from a place of certainty that what you want in life is already on its way to you. The moment I accepted my worthiness, I began to take different actions. I started saying no to things that didn't align with my purpose. I stopped overextending myself to make others happy and started focusing on creating the life I truly wanted. This shift allowed me to make bold decisions, take leaps of faith, and trust that the universe, God, fate, or whatever you believe in, is conspiring in my favor. So let me ask you, what are you holding on to because you don't feel worthy enough to let go? What opportunities are you passing up because you feel unqualified? And most importantly, what dreams are you not pursuing because you're waiting for permission from someone else? Here's the truth. You have already been given permission. You don't need anyone else's approval. All you need to do is acknowledge your worth, speak it into existence, and step into the life you're meant to live. Every day, when you tell yourself, I am worthy of everything I desire, you are reminding yourself of the truth of your existence, that you are capable, deserving, and empowered to create the life you want. This affirmation is not just a statement, it's a declaration of belief in your own potential. When you believe in your worth, you no longer chase after things, instead you attract them. You become magnetic, drawing opportunities, people, and resources toward you because your internal belief creates an external reality that matches your desires. And this belief will set the foundation for everything else that follows. As you continue to tell yourself this truth daily, you will find that you start to make different choices, take more risks, and open yourself up to greater possibilities. You are worthy of the life you dream of, and every day you affirm it, you come one step closer to making it a reality. 2, I am in control of my thoughts and my actions. The second powerful thing you must remind yourself of every day is that you are in control of your thoughts and actions. So many times we allow circumstances, other people, and even our own doubts to dictate the direction of our lives. We react to the situations that arise rather than taking proactive control of our own mindset and actions. We let the opinions and judgments of others shape our decisions, and we allow our fear and insecurities to keep us stuck. But here's the truth. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the creator of your reality. What you think about, what you focus on, and how you respond to situations all play a huge role in the life you create for yourself. When you take control of your thoughts, you empower yourself to shape your experiences and outcomes. Let me share a personal story. There was a time in my life when I was consumed by self-doubt. I would wake up in the morning already feeling defeated, letting negative thoughts dictate my actions. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to make this work. These were the thoughts that constantly played in my mind. I allowed them to control me, and as a result, my actions reflected that mindset. I'd procrastinate, hold back, and fail to take bold actions because I was letting my thoughts lead me instead of being the leader of my thoughts. But one day, something clicked. I realized that the only thing I had control over in life was how I chose to respond to the situations I faced. My thoughts didn't have to define me. I could choose to challenge those negative beliefs, turn them around, and replace them with empowering truths. I began affirming to myself every single day that I had the power to control my thoughts. I reminded myself that I was the one in charge of my mindset. So instead of waking up feeling defeated, I woke up determined. Instead of letting my fears hold me back, I let them fuel me. And over time, I saw a transformation. My actions started to align with my new belief. I started taking consistent, positive steps toward my goals. I began to push myself outside my comfort zone, knowing that every time I controlled my thoughts and actions, I was moving closer to the life I wanted. When you wake up every morning and remind yourself, I am in control of my thoughts and my actions, you are taking the power back. You are no longer a passive participant in your life. You become an active creator of your experiences. You control how you think, how you feel, and how you react. Your thoughts do not control you, you control them. This simple but profound shift will have a ripple effect throughout your day. When challenges arise, you will respond with confidence and clarity, knowing that your thoughts don't have to dictate your reality. You'll stop waiting for circumstances to change in your favor and start creating the circumstances you want through the power of your mindset. Imagine living a life where you take responsibility for the way you think and act. Imagine waking up every day knowing that the power to change your circumstances, to improve your life, and to achieve your goals is entirely in your hands. The moment you embrace that power, the possibilities for your life become limitless. You can choose to think positively, to respond with grace, to take action with purpose, and to move forward with unshakable confidence. When you take control of your thoughts and actions, you stop being a passive observer of your life and become the active creator of your future. You can decide what your life will look like, and you can make it a life that's filled with success, peace, and fulfillment. This is your power. Never forget it. 3, every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. One of the most empowering truths you can tell yourself every single day is that every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. In life, we all experience challenges, failures, and moments where things don't go the way we planned. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that setbacks are permanent roadblocks, that we've failed, or that we're simply not cut out for success. But the truth is, setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the beginning of something greater. Every time you face adversity, you are being prepared for a greater level of success, growth, and impact. The difficulty you're experiencing today is the very thing that is positioning you for a bigger opportunity tomorrow. Let me tell you a story from my own life. Early in my journey, I experienced what felt like a massive failure. I had put everything I had into a project, invested all my time, energy, and resources, and yet it didn't work out the way I expected. I felt like I had hit rock bottom, like I had lost everything I had worked so hard for. There was a moment when I even considered giving up, throwing in the towel, walking away from my dreams. But in that moment, I remembered a lesson that changed everything. Setbacks are simply setups for comeback. Instead of letting that setback define me, I decided to embrace it as part of the process. I realized that this moment of failure was not the end of my story, but an integral part of my journey. It was teaching me things I needed to learn to level up. It was showing me areas where I needed to grow and mature. And most importantly, it was preparing me for the success that would come afterward. I began to shift my perspective. I saw that failure wasn't a reflection of my worth or abilities, but rather a temporary experience that would pass. I began to look at every setback as an opportunity to reflect learn, and adjust my approach. I took the lessons from that failure and applied them to my next venture, and guess what happened? I came back stronger. I had the resilience, wisdom, and fortitude that I had gained from the setback, and it was the very thing that propelled me to greater success. Now, when I encounter challenges or setbacks, I don't fear them. I welcome them. Because I know that with every obstacle, there's an opportunity for growth. I know that every single setback is simply preparing me for a greater comeback. And this is the mindset I want you to adopt. When you tell yourself every setback is a setup for a greater comeback, you are training your mind to respond differently to failure. Instead of being discouraged, you become inspired. Instead of seeing failure as the end of your dreams, you start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey that is setting you up for something bigger and better. So when you face difficulties and when things don't go as planned, don't be disheartened. Don't let disappointment paralyze you. Take a step back, breathe, and remind yourself that this setback is not permanent. It's a necessary detour that's guiding you toward the right path. Trust the process. Trust that every challenge is preparing you to step into a bigger version of yourself. Your greatest success often comes on the other side of your greatest challenges. And when you start looking at setbacks as setups, something powerful happens. You start embracing challenges with a new level of confidence and resilience. You stop fearing failure and start seeing it as your greatest teacher. You stop letting obstacles hold you back and start using them as stepping stones on your path to greatness. So the next time you face a setback, remember it's not the end, it's the setup for your greatest comeback. And you're stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. Every setback is just another chapter in your success story. Keep going. Your comeback is on the way. 4, I am becoming a better version of myself every day. Another powerful statement that you should declare to yourself every single day is, I am becoming a better version of myself every day. There is an inherent power in growth, in progress, and in the realization that every day is a new opportunity to improve, evolve, and transform. But here's the key. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you make a conscious decision to show up and invest in yourself, even on the days when it feels difficult or uncomfortable. Let me take you back to a time in my life when I was just starting my journey towards success. I remember feeling overwhelmed by the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. I looked at successful people around me and it felt like they had it all figured out. Their lives seemed perfect while mine was still in the process of being built. But I soon realized something. Growth is not an instant transformation. It's a journey. And each day that you show up, no matter how small the step, you are evolving into a better version of yourself. I began to make a promise to myself every day. I am becoming a better version of myself. This statement was not just a wish, it was a commitment. It was a reminder that I didn't have to be perfect right away, but I did need to improve consistently. I started focusing on small daily actions that would lead to growth, whether it was reading a chapter of a book, making a healthy choice, learning a new skill, or simply having a positive mindset. Each step contributed to the bigger picture. At first, the changes were subtle. Maybe it was something as small as a shift in how I handled stress or the ability to stay focused for a longer period. But over time, I noticed a massive difference. I became more disciplined, more confident, and more resilient. As I worked on becoming a better version of myself every day, the results began to compound. I began to see progress in areas of my life that I never thought possible. There's a quote that says, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." And this is exactly what I learned through my own journey. Success doesn't come from one giant leap forward. It comes from consistent daily improvements. The effort you put in today, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, will add up and lead to massive transformations over time. This principle applies to every aspect of your life, whether it's your personal growth, your professional life, your relationships, or your health. Every day, you're either growing or regressing. There is no in between. But the beauty of this is that you have control over it. You get to choose if today will be a day of growth. And with every decision you make, you can inch closer to the best version of yourself. Think about it for a moment. Who do you want to become in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? What habits, skills, and mindset do you need to develop to reach that version of yourself? Once you get clear on the person you want to be, it becomes easier to make the small, consistent decisions that will get you there. When you declare to yourself, I am becoming a better version of myself every day, you start to embrace each opportunity to grow and learn. You start to see every obstacle as a chance to build strength and resilience. And here's the power of this mindset. It gives you the ability to persevere through challenges. When the road gets tough, when setbacks hit, when things don't go as planned, you remind yourself that this is all part of the process. You are still becoming a better version of yourself in the face of adversity. The trials you face today are only shaping you into the person you need to be in order to handle the success that's coming your way. So tell yourself every single day, I am becoming a better version of myself every day. When you do, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. You stop holding yourself back and start embracing the journey of personal growth. You recognize that perfection isn't the goal, progress is. And with every step you take, you are stepping into the person you were always meant to be. By committing to constant improvement, you'll start to see just how powerful incremental progress can be. Every action, every thought, every decision to grow compounds over time, and as you look back, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. So don't be discouraged by where you are today. Focus on becoming a better version of yourself every single day, and watch how your life transforms. 5, I am worthy of success and prosperity. And one of the most transformative declarations you can make every single day is, I am worthy of success and prosperity. Let's face it, many of us carry around a deep-seated belief that we're not deserving of the good things that life has to offer. We believe that success is for others, not for us. We tell ourselves that prosperity, wealth, and abundance are for the lucky few, but not for someone like us. But here's the truth. You are worthy of success and prosperity, and your worthiness is not determined by your past mistakes, your current situation, or how much you have achieved up to this point. There was a time in my life when I didn't believe this truth. I had grown up in a challenging environment, surrounded by limiting beliefs and scarcity mindsets. I was told that success was something you had to be born into, that wealth was only for the fortunate few, and that people like me didn't belong in the ranks of the successful. And for many years, I internalized those beliefs. I believed that I wasn't worthy of prosperity, that I had to work harder than anyone else just to have a little bit of success, and that I would never be able to break free from the struggles that I was facing. But one day, everything changed. I was having a conversation with a mentor who told me, you are worthy of success. You don't have to earn it. You were born worthy of it. That simple statement shook me to my core. I realized that all my struggles, all the pain, and all the hardships I had endured didn't diminish my worthiness. In fact, those experiences had prepared me to handle success and prosperity on a much greater scale. I had earned the right to be successful just like anyone else. My value as a person was not tied to my circumstances. It was inherent in who I was. From that moment on, I started repeating the phrase, I am worthy of success and prosperity every single day. I began to believe that I could have everything I desired, that I could achieve every goal I set, and that abundance was not just for others, it was for me too. Slowly but surely, I started to notice a shift in my life. I began to make decisions with more confidence. I started stepping into opportunities that I would have previously shied away from. I took risks, and I found myself surrounded by success, prosperity, and abundance in ways I never thought possible. But this journey didn't come without challenges. There were still moments where my old beliefs crept in, moments where I doubted myself and questioned my worth. But I held fast to the truth. I am worthy of success and prosperity. I knew that the only thing standing between me and my dreams was the belief that I could have them. The only thing that could prevent me from achieving greatness was my own self-doubt. So I began to silence that doubt and replace it with unwavering confidence in my worth. I started treating myself as if I were already living the life I wanted, successful, prosperous, and abundant. I made choices based on the person I was becoming, not the person I had been. And over time, the results followed. I attracted the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances into my life because I believed I was worthy of them. Here's the most important lesson I learned. Your belief in your own worth is the key that unlocks your success. If you do not believe that you are worthy of prosperity, you will subconsciously sabotage your opportunities. You will hesitate to take risks. You will undercharge for your services, and you will limit your potential. But when you truly believe you are worthy, you begin to operate from a place of confidence and abundance, and that energy will attract all the success you desire. Now, every day I repeat to myself, I am worthy of success and prosperity. This simple affirmation has transformed my life in ways I could never have imagined. It has freed me from the shackles of self-doubt and scarcity. It has empowered me to pursue my goals with passion and purpose. And most importantly, it has allowed me to accept the success that is my birthright. So I challenge you today, tell yourself, I am worthy of success and prosperity. When you start to believe this at your core, everything in your life will change. You will attract the opportunities you need to thrive, the resources you need to grow, and the people who will help you rise to new heights. Success is not reserved for the few. It is available to anyone who is willing to believe in their own worth and take bold action toward their dreams. And remember, you are worthy, you are deserving of all the good things that life has to offer. Claim your worth, believe in your potential, and watch your life transform. Success is already waiting for you.